Pisces, what's going on? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. As always, my name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, Pisces, this is going to be the astro forecast and tarot scope for the month of October 2020. I'm putting these videos out a lot later than I had originally anticipated. I had wanted to get these out in the beginning of October so that I could give you guys the forecast, the messages for the month, and you'd be good to go. Not that you're not going to be good to go once you watch this video, but I wanted you to have it a lot earlier so that you can prepare and plan your month out accordingly. But it just didn't work out that way. I had started recording the videos about 2 weeks ago and they just did not come out right. The energy was off, the readings were kind of off, like everything was just like really like wonky and jacked up. And I was like, I really don't understand like why this is, happening. I try my best to be organized. I try to stick to a schedule that is, timely and prompt. But the energy just wasn't there. And so I was like, you know what? I need to take some time out, rest, recharge, and then come back and, put these videos out later in the month. But I'm giving you this story as an example of astrology at work. And it wasn't until like 2 days ago when I realized why I was feeling this way and why the energy was so off. It's because Mars retrograde in Aries is square Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn. If you're not aware, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn is what we're calling the Great Conjunction. These are three heavy hitter planets that are in the sign of Capricorn. Their energies are all smushed together and they're mixing and mingling, and it's what is responsible for the craziness and the upheaval that we're experiencing in society right now. So with Mars, when you throw Mars retrograde in the mix, essentially what you get is a lot of stalled energy, a lot of delays, detours, dead ends. Any effort that you exert is going to, you're going to have to exert 10 times more energy in order to get things done. And this plays out differently for everyone, depending on where it is in your chart. For me, it directly affects my spiritually based business, namely Divine Feminine Works. So anything I've been doing, I feel like I've been walking uphill barefoot during a blizzard. Like that's how it's been feeling. Like I've actually literally been like feeling literally tired, like literally sluggish. It's been so hard to do things. And it didn't dawn on me until the other day that is why, I try to do at least 2 blog posts a week. I post on Instagram 3 times a day. I put out these videos. I put out at least some sort of video content every week. And it's been so hard to do that throughout the month of October. And that's why. So it's like astrology at work. So I wanted to give you guys a real world example of how the astrology can play out. Now, mind you, it's going to play out differently for everyone. But I gave this example because a lot of times it's easy to say, okay, you've got Sun trine Jupiter, which is supposed to be really positive and it's supposed to be a great aspect. But how does that actually play out in real life? Sometimes the way it plays out in real life is a little surprising. And it may not be the way you expect. It's not always like a textbook sort of example, right? It may be in a variety of ways. I'll never forget when Mars actually first started squaring Saturn, right? Because it started squaring Saturn a couple of weeks ago. I was having conflict with my dad, and my dad, not crazy conflict, but it was just like a little tension between us. And Saturn rules your father. So it was like, oh, okay, so that really is how that plays out. Like, I'm using this as an example as to how astrology plays out in real life. But speaking of astrology, let's get into the astrology of the month for you, Pisces. So we're already in the middle of the month, so let's talk about what has transpired already. So On the very first day of the month, we had a full moon in the sign of Aries. And for you, Pisces, that was in your second house of money and material possessions. So full moons illuminate. They either illuminate to show you the results of progress you've been making. So if there's something you've been working towards, the full moon can sort of be the culmination of that. Full moons can also illuminate things that need to be released from your life, right? So under the light of the full moon on October 1st, you guys may have seen some sort of money issue come to its culmination. Maybe you were saving up money to buy something and now you finally have enough money to purchase it. Maybe there was a new way to make money, a new way to acquire assets that became illuminated to you under the light of the full moon. Just know that the full moon was also in the same house as Mars retrograde. So whatever came to light might have been a little frustrating. It might have been, perhaps maybe you did have a plan to save for something that you wanted to purchase. And the full moon showed you that maybe you didn't have enough money yet. And you were kind of frustrated because you feel like you've been saving for the longest time. Full moons can also show things that have been hidden. So there may have been a way to make money, or something like that became illuminated under the full moon that you just didn't know, right? So that's how the month started. And I preface everything by saying that October is going to be particularly intense. We've got 2 full moons this month. We have a new moon. Pluto went direct in the sign of Capricorn, and we're on our way to eclipse season. So we're on our way to a pretty intense end of the year, and we're starting to ramp up. That energy is starting to ramp up. So brace yourselves, because things are going to get a little crazy, as if they haven't been crazy enough, but things are going to get a little more crazy. Anyway, moving on. So we had the full moon on the 1st, and then on the 4th, we had Pluto went direct in the sign of Capricorn. Like I said, Pluto is part of that great conjunction that's happening in Capricorn. That's like a shit soup. A shit soup. That is just wreaking havoc on our lives right now. So Pluto was the last planet to go direct. Jupiter had went direct on September 12th. Saturn had went direct on September 29th. And now Pluto went direct on the 4th. So it's all systems go. Like, it's a lot of energy shifts, a lot of transformation, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things all at once. Like, it's a shit soup. And that is happening in your 11th house of friendship and goals. So there may be a change, like the people that you call friends may not be your friends anymore. You may be changing your complete friendship group. A lot of the goals that you may have been working towards in your life, you've either scrapped or picked up new ones. Like, how you identify as part of a group is also changing. You may just have dropped certain groups that you identify with, and now you're, networking and, fraternizing with a completely different set of people. That's the area of your life that is going under a complete overhaul, right? So that is where Pluto went direct. So now, again, that area of your life, you're going to see a lot of energy shifts, a lot of wonky energy, a lot of stop and go, a lot of changes. So again, brace yourself. So that was on the 4th. So then this week, the week of October 11th through 17th, I think is particularly intense. Not necessarily because there's going to be a lot of bad stuff that happens, but I feel like it's going to be a very enlightening kind of week. Like I mentioned before, we've got Mars that's already square the great conjunction. So we've got a lot of power struggles, frustration, hidden anger that's going on. This week, we've also got the sun that is square to the great conjunction. So all of these things that are changing, you're actually going to see. It's like there's going to be a spotlight just shining on everything that's changing. So your consciousness is going to become very aware of what's moving in your life, what is changing. You're going to be very aware of power struggles. You're going to be very aware of people who may not be in your best interest. Again, it's going to be a very illuminating kind of week. And that's for the entirety of the week. So pay attention and see what happens during this week. What information are you becoming privy to? And it's also like, it really has to do with, it's almost like a tug of war between relationships and yourself. So there's going to be a light being shown on, in your instance, Pisces, friendships and people that you associate with. How do they relate to you? The world around us is changing. Even people around us are changing. Who can stay and who needs to go? I feel like that's what's going to be illuminated a lot this week. So keep your eyes open and pay attention. Also this week, as of yesterday, Mercury went retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, and that is happening in your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. So how this plays out, Mercury is all about communication. It also rules devices. So as with any Mercury retrograde, your phone might start acting up, your car might start acting up, appliances might start acting up and going haywire. Like, that's the norm. Emails may get lost. There's a lot of miscommunication. But for you, Pisces, being that this is playing out in your 9th house, I feel like you may have communication issues with people who are at a distance from you. They may be overseas. They may just be far away from you. I'm feeling like there is a language barrier. Some of you may experience a language barrier with something, like things are just not translating well. It's almost like you and other people are speaking two different languages. And it's going to be frustrating because you feel like you cannot get your point across. You feel like you can't understand other people. So it can be a little frustrating, but Mercury retrograde doesn't last that long, only about 3 weeks, so just hang in there. But Mercury retrograde is also a great time to re-examine how you communicate with people. So even if you are experiencing this situation where you feel like a lot of things are lost in translation with people, maybe examine how you're communicating with them, how you can communicate better. Come up with new ideas, especially with existing relationships, right? So use the energy wisely. It's not just about things going haywire. It's really about a time to re-examine and re-evaluate certain things in our lives. So use that energy of Mercury retrograde for that. And then finally, we close out this week with a new moon in Libra on October 16th, which is happening in your 8th house of transformation, sex, and shared resources. This new moon is a little challenging because it is also square to the Great Conjunction. So new moons are all about planting new seeds. It's about starting new things. Things that you want to manifest in your life, you start them at the new moon. But with this being with this being square to the Great Conjunction, any sort of effort that you're making towards these things that you want to manifest, just know that it's going to be met with resistance. Know that there's going to be some challenges to it. It doesn't mean that you can't at least try to start new things. It just means that you're just going to have to exert that much more effort. And for you, being that it's happening in your 8th house, this is a great time to start a sexual relationship with someone. It's a great time to start financial planning with a spouse. Maybe you plan on getting a loan or a mortgage. Now is the time to perhaps start that paperwork. Again, you're going to be met with resistance, but it doesn't mean that you can't at least start. For others of you, it may be undergoing, taking a look at your subconscious self, meaning the self that you hide from everyone else. Maybe now it's time to start examining those things in order to change your life, particularly if you want to have an intimate relationship. Maybe now is the time to start looking within and seeing what you need to address about yourself in order to have those things that you want, Pisces. So that is the energy that's available to you with the new moon in Libra. All right. So then finally next week, well, not finally, because I'm not at the end of this yet, but next week the sun is going to move into Scorpio on October 22nd specifically. And that's when the sun is going to move into your 9th house. So once the sun moves into Scorpio, your focus and your energy is going to be directed towards things relating to higher education, things relating to long distance travel, themes such as philosophy, religion. It can also, your energy can also be directed towards legal matters and things like that. So that's where your focus is going to be come Scorpio season. And then finally, we end the month. I can finally say finally because I'm finally at the end. Finally, we end the month with another full moon. And interestingly enough, it's happening on Halloween of all days. It's like a perfect day for that. Full moon in Taurus. And Taurus is your 3rd house of communication and ideas. So things are going to be illuminated. Perhaps ideas that you've been sitting on. You're just going to probably get an idea that comes out of nowhere, because this full moon is actually going to be conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And Uranus is the planet of surprise. It's the planet of revolution. It's the planet of, like, you know, extraordinary things outside of the norm. So you may just have a flash of inspiration under this new moon. You may have an idea that is completely left, but it's really revolutionary, and maybe that's what you need right now. Some of you, it may illuminate things having to do with siblings. It also may illuminate things having to do with neighbors or with your particular neighborhood. There may be a neighborhood project, or maybe something going on with your siblings that comes to a culmination under the full moon. Just remember, again, that because it's conjunct Uranus, whatever comes up is going to be surprising. It's going to be astonishing. It's going to be something completely out of the norm that you don't expect. So again, as if I feel like I've been saying this like all month, but like brace yourselves, because it's going to be something kind of crazy. But crazy doesn't always mean bad. It could be good. Like I said, you could get a flash of inspiration, you know, an amazing new idea under this full moon. So again, just be cognizant of those things, because they could really help you out in the long run. All right, so that is the astrology for you guys, Pisces, for October 2020. Now let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Pisces, so we're going to start out with the oracle cards, and then we'll circle back with the tarot to get some more specific messages. So let's get into it. Oh, I like this. This is a great way to start out. We've got big, happy changes. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, right? Big, happy changes. I feel like it's something y'all have been wanting for a long time. Like, there's something that you've really had your eye on. And with the great conjunction happening in your 11th house, like I said, the 11th house covers friendships, but it also governs goals and gains. It's almost like when you know when they say wish upon a star, like you dream big and it's like something nice, and you know, it's almost like rubbing a genie and getting 3 wishes. Like there's something that you really wanted, and I feel like you are on the road to getting it. But mind you, with the great conjunction happening, it's gonna take some time, and it's like things almost have to get worse before they get better. So the ending is great. It's just the way to get there is really like effed up. Just keep that in mind. All right. Oh, look at this. We've got change. And what number is this? This is a number 5. Yeah, change. Again, there's something in your life that you really wanted that you are going to get. But it's going to require not just changing of the circumstances around you. It's going to require a certain change in you. A lot of times when we wish upon a star and there are things that we really want in life, sometimes we have to grow into it. Like, let's say you want to be a, I don't know why I got ballerina, like a prima ballerina. Maybe you want to dance with, you know, the New York City Ballet, or, you know, you really want to be a professional ballerina. You know how much training goes into that? How much practice goes into that? Your body has to change. Your feet have to change in order for that dream to come true. And I feel like that is what's going on for y'all, Pisces. Like, you are growing into what it is that you want to have. And it may be painful, right? I remember I used to be a dancer back in the day, and I did point ballet for a number of years. And I remember I'm pretty flat-footed, and so there's this technique I had to do to bend my feet like this for hours a day in order to be able to effectively dance on point. Point are those wooden shoes that the ballerinas use to dance with. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. I remember I would have to tape my toes because, you know, your toes would bleed. You would get ingrown toenails that would bleed, and, you know, your feet would just be all jacked up. So it's painful. Growing into and becoming the person that you need to be in order to have that wish fulfilled can be painful. And this is not to say that this is not to put a wet blanket on what it is that you want, but I need you to be aware of the fact that growing into what it is that you ask for, it can be challenging. It's worth it in the end, but it can be challenging along the way. All right. Friendship. Nice. And again, this speaks to the great conjunction that is in your house of friendship and goals. Friendship. And it says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. For some of you, there is a friend or someone that you fraternize with who can help you get to where you need to go. They are instrumental or can be instrumental in helping you achieve your dream. Or for some of you, they may not be, but there is a certain friendship relationship that is changing right now. That may be what's like going on in your life. So maybe they're not instrumental in helping you achieve a dream, but your relationship with them is undergoing a serious overhaul. It may be ending, or it may just be changing in a beneficial way. Oh. And then we've got chop wood. And what number is this? This is a 42, which is a 6, which is the relationship card, which is a relationship sign. So yeah, some of you are eliminating certain friends. It's cleanup time. You see the broom and the pail next to it is cleanup time. So like I said, some of you are cleaning up some of the friendships in your life. Some friendships gotta go. Other friendships need to change. But regardless, you're doing an assessment. Even if you're not doing an assessment, I feel like Spirit is doing it for you with the Great Conjunction. And some people are staying, some people are going. There's something about this picture, if you can really see it, it's almost like a window that's open or a door that's open, and you see this broom and this pail, these pails. I feel like a lot of you have had friendships, and many of us are guilty of have this, not just you guys, Pisces. A lot of us have friendships that have been around for a long time. Let's say we've known somebody since kindergarten, right? They've been around for a long time, but maybe it's not the best friendship. Maybe it's like a lot of things you and your friend tolerate of each other for the mere fact that you've known each other for so long. It's like, this is almost like, I'm getting this image of like a door that's been closed for a long time and now it's finally open. And you're like, okay, it's time to clean things up. Quantity of years does not equal quality of relationships. And I feel like some of you are learning that lesson right now. Just because someone has been your friend for a long time, or you've been associated with this person for a long time, doesn't make them a friend in the truest sense of the word. That's why some of y'all are cleaning house, or why Spirit is cleaning house for you. And we've got optimism. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a nice, I like this card. It's just a nice sunny day. And what number is this? 4 and 7 is 11. Okay. So I feel like this message for you, Pisces, it's like two different groups. On the one hand, some of you have this goal that you're really trying to achieve. You know, the example I was giving before. Others of you, it's friendships that are changing. But regardless, this is all playing out in your 11th house of friendships and goals, which is exactly where Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, that are all now direct, are placed. Whatever it is, these things are radically changing in your life. For the better, of course. So let's get into the tarot and see what messages, what further messages we have here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. What goes up must come down. There are cycles and seasons to everything. And I feel like this card in particular is talking about this friendship or these friendships. Certain things, I feel like certain things are coming to light. Like I said, particularly this week, if you look at the middle of this card, it's the sun. And like I said, the sun is going to be square the Great Conjunction. And the sun is currently in Libra. So Libra is square to, Libra is your 8th house of transformation, sex, and shared resources. And it is square to your 11th house of friendship and goals. The 8th house is all about transformation. There's a transformation going on here that you are going to be aware of this week as the sun is going to be squared to the Great Conjunction, particularly with your friendships, who you keep around you, who you associate with. Some of you have people that you've associated with for a long time that do not serve any positive purpose in your life. Again, quantity of years does not equal quality of relationships. And you are going to become aware of that this week. We've got the Ace of Cups. I feel like for some, I'm getting two messages. First of all, some of you are getting new friends. Like some of you are going to start to gravitate towards people who vibrate on the same level as you, that may have the same ideals and values as you, and you're going to start to form new friendships. So I'm getting the sense like it's, I'm seeing a revolving door. So if you, let's say you are doing a complete, or maybe Spirit is doing a complete house clearing when it comes to your friends, people that are going out are going to be replaced by new people that are coming in. Like if you're afraid of, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have any friends anymore, or I'm going to be lonely, I feel like people, like Spirit is going to move things around so that new people are going to come into your circle. You're going to start associating with new people. For others of you, that big happy change that I was talking about in the beginning and having that goal that you really have to grow into, for some of you, it's a relationship. It's that partnership. It's that companion that you really want. But like I said, sometimes we really have to grow into things that we want. And if you want that relationship, that companionship that you've been dreaming of for the longest, it may require you to have certain personal changes in your life. There may be some emotional cleanup you have to do, or personal cleanup you have to do. It may also include the people that are around you. Imagine you're Cinderella, right? And you really want this Prince Charming, and you have this Prince Charming, but look at who Look at who Cinderella had around her. An evil stepmother and those wicked ass stepsisters. You think that a relationship with Prince Charming can thrive with those people? Of course not. You need to have people around you that vibrate on the same level and that can be conducive to the things that you want. It's not going to be any good for you to have a goal of being a millionaire and you surround yourself with people who have a broke mentality. So you're doing a personal cleanup, you're doing a friendship cleanup. It's like you're cleaning up the vibe around you so that the things that you want and the right people can find you. That's what you're doing this month, Pisces. All right. We've got the Devil. Okay, this is Saturn. I don't get that this is anything negative. I just feel like it's just stagnant energy. Doesn't this almost look like cobwebs in a sense? Again, with the example I gave with this, it's like a door that has been closed for a very long time and you're finally opening it and finally cleaning it. Maybe there's like, you know, a lot of times at home, you may have a closet that's like a junk closet, right? That you just throw things in there and you never really look at it. You never really clean it. And one day you're finally like, you know what? I really need to clear out this closet. And you open it up and there's just a whole bunch of old things in there, things that you no longer need. That's what I'm getting with this Devil card. It's like stagnant, things that are holding you back. And for a lot of you, it's people. It's people around you that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you stuck. That is what needs to be released. That's what needs to be released in order for you to have the things that you want. Let's get another card here. We've got the Hermit. Okay. You would benefit from some time alone. And I feel like some of you are like, but I don't want to be left alone. I don't want to, you know, it's going to be hard for me to cut people off. It's going to be hard for me to not associate with certain people anymore. But there's so much enlightenment that can be gained from this. So much. And I feel like some time alone is really going to give you the clarity. I mean, because look at this lamp that he's holding. It's super bright, right? You're going to be able to discern who to keep around you and who not. So if you find yourself isolating, if you find yourself withdrawing from people, that's actually a good thing. Don't think of it as a bad thing. Stay optimistic, like this card says, because it's going to give you the discernment for you to be able to see clearly who to have around you and who not. I'm hearing particularly as it has to do with new people. Not so much old people, because old people, I feel like you already know what they're about, who they are. It's new people. So like I said, I gave you that image. I told you about the image I have of the revolving door. Yes, it's a revolving door, but it doesn't have to mean that as soon as someone goes out, someone new comes in. You need to spend time by yourself. You need to spend time in isolation, time to yourself, so you know when someone comes, when someone approaches you, when someone is coming through that revolving door to come back in, do they resonate with you? Is this someone that you should have around you? So take that time out for yourself in order to gain that sort of inner knowledge and that wisdom. Okay. We've got the Magician. Again, this goes to like big happy changes. You have the power to create whatever you want to create. Those goals that you're trying to manifest, it's a definite yes. And it's to the point where you can just receive them. I'm not seeing anything that requires you to do a lot of work. As a matter of fact, I don't see any minor arcana here. These are all major arcana. So there is nothing you have to do. All you have to do, if anything, is sit and receive. Like I said, the Great Conjunction, yeah, things are moving forward. With the Prince of Wands at the bottom of the deck, like things are moving forward rapidly, as a matter of fact. But apart from that, the Great Conjunction is heavy energy, and it's energy that we don't have the power to control. But a lot of times that's a great thing, because without that, there's a lot of moves we wouldn't make. Things wouldn't start moving rapidly, and it's a new beginning for you. So keep that in mind as well. Things wouldn't be moving rapidly because we wouldn't have the confidence, we wouldn't have the willpower in order to change things in our lives. When it comes to cutting people off, that's a hard thing to do. Some people can do it easily, but most people can't. So if you know that there are people around you that you just shouldn't associate with anymore, not because they're bad people, but because they don't align with where you are or where you're trying to go, a lot of times it's hard to let those people go. That's why Spirit steps in. Spirit is stepping in and doing all of that for you. All you have to do is sit and receive. And you just have to wait. You have to wait. You have to use the downtime, use that alone time in order to gain the wisdom to discern who you should have around you and who shouldn't. Because again, it's like a revolving door, and not in a bad way. You lose one, you gain one. But just make sure that what you're gaining is in alignment with who you are and what you want. Okay. And I see for some of you, you could have a Virgo, Aries, or Capricorn that's of significance right now. These could be people that you need to cut, or these could be people that are coming in. Let's clarify those and see what's good with that. Let's start with the Devil card. Bad health. Yeah, this is talking about old friends, people that are tying you down. People that are not in alignment with where you want to go, they've got to go. They're the ones that have to be let go of, because they're not in alignment with who you are or where you need to go. Let's get one on this Hermit card. False person. So we've got a Capricorn that may not be good. We've also got a Virgo that may not be so good. They may be a false person. They may be deceptive, but whatever it is, that energy. And it's also telling you, so people who keep you stuck need to go. People who are not authentic and real with you also need to go. Let's get one on the Emperor. Oops, that's too many. And that fell. Okay. Let's get one on the Emperor. we've got child. So I feel like the Aries or this Emperor type person, I feel like they may be in alignment with where you're trying to go. Especially this new beginning that you're going to have. I feel like this person, and they may not be an Aries. They may be someone who is a boss, someone who's a mover and shaker, someone who gets things done, who's very strategic. They may be in alignment with who you are. But I feel like there are two other people around you that perhaps need to go. And I feel like once everything is said and done, this is where you're going to be at. And I don't think this has to do with money. I feel like this has to do with the people that you have around you, that goal that you want to achieve. Again, it's a very positive outcome, but you just got to let spirit move things around, move people around. And when everything is said and done, you are going to be sitting like this, feeling happy and content. All right, let's get 3 astrology cards to close out the reading. We've got healing. All right, so yeah, again, Chiron is currently in your 2nd house. So I feel like perhaps there is, the people around you directly affect your money. That's why certain people have to go. If you find that your money is dwindling, you've got money issues, take a look at who you've got around you. Their energy may be blocking you from the blessings that you are supposed to have. And that's what's being healed right now with this whole friendship group. Let's get 2 more cards out here. We've got Virgo. This came out twice. So Pisces, there may be a Virgo that you really need to cut ties with. Real talk. Real talk. Some of these people, I feel like, and I have to say this, I feel like some of these people are like, may purposely be throwing a monkey wrench in your plans, either physically or spiritually. Take that as it resonates, but I really feel like there's a Virgo that you need to get away from. One last card here. We've got 5th house. Your 5th house is Cancer. Okay. Whatever your goal is, I feel like, oh yeah, and the 5th house is directly across from the 11th house. So yes, the 5th, there is this, whenever you are taking into account these big happy changes and these goals that you want, do it from a place of passion. Don't just wish for things because you think they look good or you think they'll make you a lot of money. Wish for things that fulfill you, that you are passionate about. That is where your new beginning lies. So whatever, you try to keep things in your life and strive for things that you are passionate about, that come from your heart. And I feel like that's where you will find success, both with friends and with your money. All right, Pisces, that has been your astro forecast and taroscope for October 2020. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. If you would like to book a tarot reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below. For the month of October, I'm running a special on one of my tarot readings. The messages from Spirit tarot readings are only $20 throughout the month of October. Everyone loves those readings because rather than asking a question, you just let Spirit tell you what you need to know, what's important for you to know at the moment. And it's great because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't really know what to ask, or what should I ask? Instead of thinking about it from that perspective, just let Spirit tell you exactly what you need to know. And again, those are $20 throughout the month of October, and that link will be in the description box as well. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every week I do a series called The Week Ahead where I do a quick and dirty tarot read along with a quick and dirty astro forecast for the upcoming week. I also have some really nice content on my Instagram page, so definitely follow me so you don't miss any of that. As always, everything I do, all of the readings, the reports, everything I do is always a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined, Pisces, and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. Pisces, my loves, as always, it is a privilege and an honor to read for you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.